out here in Beatty, Nevada once again. Not Jackass Junction, but as you can see, all kind of donkeys out here too, wild burros everywhere. I actually knew they lived right back here, so this is where they come from. But they usually wander the streets, little pack of burros out here. But let's go up and see Rhyolite Ghost Town, check that out. Here we are coming into Rhyolite, the ghost town. In 1905, they discovered gold and went from a 2-tent camp, little mining camp, into a 5,000 person town, booming with activity. Next thing you know, people all over the world heard about it, and Charles Schwab heard about it, which really set it off. He came out and bought the mining district, and it started to really boom. They had a really high percentage of gold in the mountains compared to the average mine back then. And so the Bullfrog mining district was born. And like I said, went from 2 tents to 5,000 people. Banks, swimming pools, newspapers, post office, a train depot. You'll be able to see that in the video. And here's the remnants of everything that's out here now. Pretty awesome. When you first come in here, this is about 6 miles outside of Beatty, right at Death Valley, right down the street from Death Valley National Park. When you first come in here, you'll see the Goldwell Open Air Museum, and it's basically Death Valley artwork that is kind of all set up. It's pretty cool. You can check that out from the pictures. When you get to Beatty, Nevada, you take State Route 374, about 6 miles out here, and then you end up at Rhyolite, the ghost town. This art here in Goldwell represents things like painting of the Last Supper, kind of a ghostly version of that. There's that 25-foot pink woman that's constructed out of cinder blocks, and it's all designed representative of the desert, so it's basically kind of in context to where it sits. This is a real true ghost town with nobody out here. As you can see from the artwork when you come in from Goldwell, kind of right at the beginning of the road that brings you into Rhyolite. And then now it's just the rubble. It's just the rubble and the destroyed buildings, the remains, the ruins, I guess, of the ghost town. This is the artwork out here in Death Valley. Out here right before Rhyolite at the ghost town. This gold well right behind me there, that's a free museum. It shows a little bit of history. There's a man in there. I'll go talk to him, tell you a little bit about the history of Death Valley, Gold Well, Rhyolite, the ghost town in this area, plus the artwork back here. But what's really crazy is, as fast as it took off, it kind of met its demise. And ironically, the San Francisco earthquake in 1906 actually was the cause of that, because it destroyed the railroad and it hurt them as far as getting supplies and getting things out here. And so something that happened quite a ways away had a pretty big impact on this little part of the desert. And it would seem probably as fast as it got going and came up and got bustling, it went into obscurity and people left. Behind me, that's the old Cook Bank building here at Rhyolite. They claim that it's the most photographed old ruin in Nevada. Not quite sure how they would quantify that one, but still pretty cool. Back when it was booming out here in Rhyolite, Death Valley. This is a great day trip from Vegas. It's about, 100 miles or so south of Tonopah, out here in Death Valley, right by Death Valley National Park, right outside of Beatty, Nevada, the gateway to Death Valley. And here we are at the almost November, at the end of October, and it's hot. Still real warm out here. As you can see from my drone footage, it's very desolate, wide open, expansive, beautiful, and pretty stark. And it gets real hot out here in the summer. You might want to come visit in the wintertime. But either way, the miles don't matter. So we're out here, 120 miles from Vegas, 6 miles from Beatty, give or take, and right more or less at the entrance to Death Valley National Park in Death Valley. What I find most interesting about these ghost towns that I see is I wonder what people were thinking when, it starts booming and everybody comes and it just blows up. And like I say, they got swimming pools, they got libraries, they got everything you could imagine, and it's booming and bustling. And then a lot of these towns, the gold dries up or the supplies can't get there and they're gone as fast as they got here. And you wonder if they thought it would never end or if they knew, man, we got to hit it and quit it because this is just going to be a couple years. I don't know. It's a trip though, but it shows you kind of how fragile life is, man. Things can just poof, be gone. 1 minute they're one way, pretty quickly they're not. So that's a trip. So behind me here, this is Tom Kelly's bottle house. He literally built that house out of adobe, brick and mortar, and bottles, glass bottles. In a 2021 economy, it's about $3 worth of bottles to make that house. $3. All made out of bottles. They actually say it's efficient too. Keep you cool in the summer and hot in the winter. Supposedly. I don't know. I've never seen a bottle house before, so I couldn't tell you. Crazy, huh? 1905 or 1906, I think. This bottle house was featured in these movies, Wanderlust of the Wasteland and The Airmail, Old School Hollywood. A couple of the things out here are fenced off. This is one of them. Not a lot can live out here in Death Valley.